Welcome to another episode of Daddy Confessions. Wow, I don't know what to say except this has been a long time coming. It's been a while since Daddy Confessions has been on the air. This is the first time that we will be live. Me, will be live. So if you are watching, you are welcome to be here. I appreciate you joining me. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Hopefully, some more people will join the show this evening. Um, it has been, as I said, a long time coming. I have not done this in a while, and I've never done it live. So excited about this. Hopefully, we get some people in here to chat it up with me a little bit, talk back, let me know what's going on with them in their world. And I'm excited, very excited about this opportunity. All right, and that was creeping up a little bit. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all for coming, listening, checking it out. This is not uh, going to be the normal format of the show, but I am going to let you guys know that for this first episode of the show, it's just going to be me. I usually don't do this. I usually have other people on purpose because although I believe myself to be a very exciting person, I know it's great when I can have other perspectives from other fathers on the show as well. So we're gonna keep keep that going. Thank you, Ty, for being in the building. Much appreciated, brother. Ty from the Millionaire Man Cave, one of my good friends. It's hard to believe that he knew my wife first because my wife now a little jealous because I think we hang out a little bit more. So there's Mike. What's up, man? Mike also from the Millionaire Man Cave. Exciting. Thank you guys for coming and listening and being a part of the show this evening. Really, really do appreciate it. Hopefully, if you are watching, you share this out on your Facebook and your uh, um, all of your social media as well, so some other people can come and check it out as well. So trying to make sure I got this John set up to do it the right way, where I can have other people get invited in as well. So again, hopefully people will share it out and yes, Ty says that my wife is a hater because he and I are becoming good friends. You know what I'm saying? All right, more people in the building. Love it, love it. Thank you guys for joining. So as you guys keep coming in, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with it's weird because I can't do it the way I normally do it. You know what I'm saying? I did say welcome to another episode of Daddy Confessions, but I gotta give it a little bit of a different feel this time because it's a little different, doing it live. I appreciate people being here, you know what I'm saying? Love it, love it. So, again, welcome back to another episode of Daddy Confessions. I'm so excited to have this show going live right now. I'm excited to have people, filtering in, coming in and listening to the show. As I know that there might be some people who don't get a chance to catch it tonight because it's going to be on. It's late. It's 9:00 right now for some people. That's past their bedtime. So you can be a part of the rewatch gang. You know what I'm saying? Leave some feedback later as well. But if you're listening now, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Love it. I'm using StreamYard for the first time, so you can see the little little duck in the corner over there. So we trying something new. But anyway, I just want to say that I'm gonna get to this week's topic in a minute, but just want to say again, thank you for joining me on my fatherhood journey. The Daddy Confessions podcast is a place where I usually discuss parenting from a father's perspective, and nothing is off limits in that conversation. This podcast is for every kind of dad, from the soon-to-be dad to those who are empty nesters. We have something for everyone. And we also want to get some of the moms in here as well. You know what I'm saying? So if you are a man and you listening to the show right now, maybe get your wife, bring your wife in, you know what I'm saying? Your baby mama, have her come and listen as well. There's something for her here. Also, I want everybody to be a part of the show, learn a little bit more about some of the things, some of the hurdles that I have had. Hopefully that'll be helpful to somebody else. I am by no means a specialist, and I am a somewhat experienced father, but I don't know it all. And so, I just want people to, come in, be a part of the show. You know what I'm saying? Learn something, give something back, impart some knowledge to somebody else. That's what we all here for. So before I move forward with the rest of it, I'm gonna give a couple plugs. Right. So my hope is to, as I said, have mothers be involved in the conversation as well. And later on in the season, I would love to have like a mommy confessions episode. So I want some moms to come in, listen, be a part of the conversation, maybe talk to some other moms about some things that they are experiencing. Love to have that happen as part of the growth of the Daddy Confessions podcast. And so if you know any moms who you think might be interested, hit them up. You know what I'm saying? Let them know about Daddy Confessions. Tell them to keep their eye out for upcoming announcements about the Mommy Confessions piece. Love to have them come and join and be a part of that conversation. So keep that in mind. Outside of that, we just gonna do the regular Daddy Confessions thing here. We're gonna have conversations. We're gonna talk about our kids, good, bad, and ugly. We're gonna talk about, all the things that we go through. And that leads me to the topic for tonight. We're gonna keep it brief. It's not gonna be long. Again, I know it's late. The show, as you can see scrolling at the bottom, will be moving to Thursdays at 8 p.m. starting this coming Thursday. So future episodes will be airing on Thursdays at 8 p.m. All right. Just a FYI. So the topic for tonight is things I learned in the first 10 years as a father. Now, you might say, man, I can't believe it's been 10 years. I say that all the time. I cannot believe that it has been 10 years since my son was born. Since Trey was born, almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in November on his birthday. So I'm just saying, almost 10 years at this point. But there's a lot that I've learned in that short amount of time. And with that being said, I'm gonna, these are just some of the 10 things. These are just 10 things. These not all of them. There's a lot of other things that I've learned over the years as well. But I felt like these 10 were front of mind right now, as I watch both Trey and Wyatt get a little older, do some other things in their lives, play sports, things like that. I'm falling behind here on the on the comments, but I wanted to get Ty's comment in here about the empty nester gang. Okay, all right. I'm very, very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm a little sad that y'all get to experience that so early and young in life, and I got so long to go. So I'm a little jealous, you know what I'm saying? And I got Nicole in here. Thank you, Nicole, for dropping in. Okay, all right. Nicole is interested in the mommy confession episode. Love it, love it. Thank you, Nicole. Love it. She got some more comments. Ooh, yes, future shows airing Thursdays at 8 p.m. We're gonna move it to during the week. I know people like to have their weekends free. Football is about to pick up. We're about to get into the real season of football. Right now, it's fake football. So just had to get the show off the ground with this episode. And let's see. Thought Trey was 16. He looked like he's 16. He is about to be taller than Yvette. Okay. So that's she don't want to admit it, but he was standing with some slippers on today. So like no bottoms on the shoes. Or was it today? Yesterday. And yeah, he was pretty much taller than her. So yeah, man, he is up there. That's my son. He gonna be dunking before you know it. So so back to the thank you guys for interacting a little bit. I appreciate that. So 10 things that I learned in the first 10 years as a father. Now, if you guys got other things you want to chime in on, please let me know. If they on the list, I might hold off on saying it. If they're not on the list, I'm gonna throw it in there. All right. So I'm gonna get right to number one. Patience is key. This is something that you know, I don't really have a lot of patience. I'm working on that one. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all heard the Boys and Men song Trying Times. So I feel like that is what I think about every time I think about patience. Like they just be trying me, it's trying times. And so the kids will try you. And they don't always mean harm by it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they are just being kids. They just doing their kid thing, but it don't mean that they don't work your nerve. And that is a colloquialism that we as people of color use. They work your nerve, right? And it's funny because I think about when it started, and it started the first day we got home from the hospital. And I know that's hard to believe, but like when you in the hospital, like you just so excited about the baby, you got a new baby, you're excited about it. So you don't think about the fact that the baby might be crying in the hospital, but they're gonna keep crying when they get home. And you gotta be patient because you gotta figure out what the baby want. Is it a bottle? Do they want to be held? Do they want, they need to be changed? So you gotta be patient with that part of it. And then they get a little older. They start throwing tantrums. They're not speaking, so or maybe they are speaking and they throwing tantrums, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. You're trying to get to that place of understanding who they are, and that's always a very hard time, right? And that's when you got to have the most patience. When they go to the store and they asking for everything in the store, even though you gave them the conversation, you know what I'm saying? You gave them the black mama conversation, black daddy conversation before you got into the store, and you told them don't ask for nothing. They still manage to ask for everything in the store. They walk down the aisle, they touch everything, they want everything. They want stuff that they ain't never even seen before. They ain't got nothing to do with them. They be like, can I get this plunger over here? Can I get that that toilet paper over there? Just because they want to ask for something, right? And you got to keep it together. You got to be the parent that tries to keep it together. So my boy, yeah, Corey, what's up, man? Thank you for being in the house for this episode of Daddy Confessions. Appreciate it. Brother-in-law in the house. And Ty, my man, okay. This is a video podcast. So if you're watching the video podcast, you are welcome to read what he has there. But I'm not gonna read it because this podcast is for the family. This is a family podcast. And we don't use those words here, Tyran. You know what I'm saying? We don't say those things on this podcast, on the Daddy Confessions podcast. Now, if we was on a Millionaire Man Cave, can't guarantee that it wouldn't be said. But this is Daddy Confessions. So we got kids listening maybe in the car. So we won't be saying those things. But you're right. Some of that is accurate. All right. So next on the list, number 2 is be flexible. What does that mean? What does be flexible mean? I had to think about it a little bit. I wrote it down and I was like, so, am I flexible? Can I be flexible? Yeah, I mean, I don't love it. I don't love being flexible because I like things being planned out. But the truth of the matter is that you want things to go a certain way. And you want to make sure that when those things don't work out the way that you want them to work out, yeah, Ty, keep it together, sir. That you are being flexible. You know what I'm saying? You understand that things ain't gonna happen the way you want them to with the little kids. You ain't gonna be able to get out the door at the time you want to. Y'all tell me, has there ever been a time when you planned on being somewhere, and I'm not talking about with your spouse, I'm talking about with the kids, and as you try to get out the door, everything that can possibly go wrong with the kids go wrong? Let me know. Anybody had that situation happen to them? Anybody had a situation where they could not get out the door with their kids because the kids had to go to the bathroom, couldn't find this, that, or the other thing? You know what I'm saying? We had a situation once where Wyatt could not find a shoe. One shoe. We had one shoe missing. And it blew my mind. I was like, son, I don't understand how you lose a shoe. We supposed to keep those together. They stay together as a set. How do we lose a shoe? We're supposed to have them together at all time. Thank you, Corey. It's hard, man. It is so hard. Thank you, Nicole. It's so hard when you are trying to figure out like how to get out, try to get somewhere on time, try not to be them people who are running on CP time all the time, only to find out that your kids, they don't have no concept of time. My youngest still don't understand time. He's 6 years old. We still trying to get him to understand that it ain't next year when he wake up in the morning. It is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It is today. He's talking about next year. Am I going to first grade? I'm like, boy, you mean tomorrow? You mean next week? Like, let's get this together. Like, his concept of time is just, he don't have it at all. So you gotta be flexible with the kids. You know, you gotta be okay. They're gonna get sick. You know, they're gonna forget something. We have had whole instruments not make it to school for the day of a performance. We've had homework get lost, everything, all kinds of stuff. And so we always working hard to try to be better at that. That's why you have to start early because then you really do. You really do. You had to set their alarms for at least 45 minutes before the time that you really trying to get out of the house. And it just has to work that way now. So you gotta be flexible. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those things that we always working on around here. I'm always working on it. Be present. Be present. So I thought a long time about this one as well. And it's the idea. It's it's one again, it's probably one of the toughest ones for me. And it's one of the toughest ones for me because I grew up in a house where we just kind of did our own thing. You know what I'm saying? We might have sat together at the little fold out wooden tables and had dinner in front of the TV with a little, but that was few and far between. And so my mother was a single mother. She was working. She was trying to take care of everything. She was all over the place all the time with me and my sister. And my father was nowhere to be found. He was an absent father. Still, can't say absent now because my mother and father are dating, whatever that looks like. It's weird. I won't get into that. That's a whole nother topic. But you know what I'm saying? It's one of those weird things. So what's this, Mike? So Mike says today his wife could not get out the door with our daughter because she was talking to her friend on the phone. So your daughter was talking to her friend on the phone, Mike? And that's why y'all couldn't get out the door? What kind of phone? Y'all got a regular house phone? Like it's attached to the wall? Like I'm confused. I need to know the answer to that one. Is that come on, Mike, get back at me, brother. Cause I need to know. So y'all got regular house phones in the house, or they couldn't get out the door because she wouldn't leave her room because she was talking on the phone. Let's see. Corey says, so I have to do 2 hours early. Man, yeah, you need to be on it. So she was on her cell phone and y'all couldn't get her out of the house. You're supposed to grab her up by her collar and then and get her in the car. Like seriously. Then everybody got to listen to her conversation. So that's how you got to do it. So yeah, man, that's how you got to do it. You got to get them out the house. I don't understand that one. So yeah, Ty says being present is important, but can be very difficult because they want you to be present for everything. That is so true. So true. So my father was not present for anything because he left when I was 2. But my mother was trying hard to be a single parent, and so she couldn't be everywhere all at once. You know what I'm saying? And that was tough. But it also, that just wasn't her personality. Like, she wasn't like the, come out, cheer, rah 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 kind of person. That just wasn't her personality. I know, Corey says that his father was a working man, so he was gone all the time. I understand that, and that makes it hard too. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to take care of your family, you're trying to make sure that everything's taken care of. Sometimes you're not at home, and there's a balance for that. Talking about my mama, yes, my mama dating my daddy. It's disgusting. Uh, oh, she neglected to get ready, Mike. So she wasn't even ready. So she wasn't even. So she ain't have her stuff on ready to go. Oh, got you. So she was. Yeah, she was on the phone like that. I mean, back in the day, you would be able to, get on the house phone and embarrass her on the phone. But I guess when you are on cell phone, they do what they want. So I mean, yeah, you just got to be involved and engaged. And I actually had a conversation with my wife not too long ago. We brought this up about being present, about being involved, and what that looks like and feels like. And for me, one of the things that has been important for me is like being able to find time for myself. Like I am believe it or not, I am probably an introvert by nature. Like my normal day to day is to be by myself after work because I just need to regenerate. Like I talk to people all day at work, and so when I come home, I just want to kind of have time to myself. But if I do that, if I spend a whole lot of time to myself, then I am neglecting my kids. You know what I'm saying? I am not present for them as much as they need. And that can also come and go with work things and other stuff that happen that take me away. But I try to be at all the sporting events. I try to be there. I try to be as engaged as I possibly can. I sit down, watch movies with them, take them out to the movies, play games, make sure you are able to be there for those moments to celebrate. That's really important. And that kind of brings me to the next point. Number four, we're on number 4 now. Find joy in the small moments. And if you're not present, so if you're not doing number 3, it's going to be hard to do number 4, right? Because if you're not present, then you're not going to be there for those small moments, right? You're not going to be there for the moment when they learn to tie their shoe. You're not going to be there for that moment when they want to show you that they can spin around without falling down. You're not going to be there for that time when you just sitting at the table and one of your kids tell a bad joke. And it's funny because it's a horrible joke. I tell you, one of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite moments is when we just in the car, me and the boys. I got 2 boys, right? So having 2 boys mean we always just living our lives as men, uh, doing man things. And those man things usually consist of body humor, right? It's usually a fart joke, a poop joke, something along those lines. Those are my favorite moments with my sons, because we just break out in laughter over some of the stupidest stuff. We did it today. We went out to lunch today, got ramen, and on our way home, we just you know start talking about poop. You know what I'm saying? Farting and poop, and it was a long, fun conversation. Ride home. It was fun times, and I know some people don't get it, but that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? And let's see. So Corey says it's crazy because what we think of a man today is today's woman doesn't. Ooh, that is a good point. That is a good point, and that is one of those hard things, right? Like a man who takes care of his family, takes care of his self, is in some ways, less of a man. You got to be almost neglectful to be um a man. It's interesting. I don't know. That's a thing that seems to be happening today. Um, uh, yes, the daddy watch this phase. Yeah, you gotta be there for the daddy watch this phase, or the daddy. Did you know? Daddy, did you know? And it's like the did you know that the sky's blue? Yeah, you gotta be there for that. Yeah, the pull my finger jokes. Yep, get those all the time. We don't do that. We don't really do pull my finger, but because it don't, we just we just let it rip and then blame it on each other. That's usually how I go around here. But I tell you, it's cool to to be there for the time when my son wins his first wrestling match. Right, I love that. Like, that's not a small moment; it's a big moment. Um, but that was big for me, and it'll be a blip in his life of all the things that he will do. But that moment will live with me forever. Whether it lives with him forever or not, it will always be an important moment for me. And the same thing when Wyatt got his first, belt in Taekwondo. You know what I'm saying? That was a really important moment in my life because that showed me that my kids are becoming their own little people and they're able to do all of these different things. Let's see. Ty says that it gets better as they get older and you become more like a friend. You know what? I have heard that. I have heard that the important things of this phase is to give them that foundation, right? And once you've put that foundation in place for them through doing these things, some of these things I'm talking about, like, it does help them to then feel comfortable enough to come and talk to you about other things and kind of have that mentor mentee relationship, that friend relationship, and hopefully they'll come back and they'll talk to you about everything that's going on in their lives, and that's something that I'm looking forward to, for better or for worse, um because I know it's going to have its moments when I'm like, I don't even want to hear about that. But number 5, try not to sweat the small stuff. You know how they say, you've heard the saying, don't cry over spilt milk. Like, I really do think that's more for parents than it is for kids because we done had spilt milk in the house before. And I'm not sure I handled it the right way the first time. But in retrospect, I'm like, yo, that ain't that big of a deal. Like, don't cry over spilled milk. Um, so trying to figure that out, being at a place where those little small moments, those things that come up, don't become these big, big things. And that's something that I am always working through because I know I have a short fuse. And it's something that has not been easy for me over the years, in terms of being the type of person who can let things go. And I'm working on that. I'm working on that for sure. Let's see what Ty says. It's cool to date your kids, even the boys. You know what? I agree. Um, again, spending that time with the kids, it actually helps, I think, to move through some of these things. Like, it's those small moments. It helps you not to sweat the small stuff. It allows you to have those conversations with them about why you do this, why you may have gotten upset about that, and it is a non-confrontational situation, right? Like, food and situations outside of the home can help diffuse a lot of things, and put situations into a different context where you can have conversations that just don't have any of the, like, the air of trouble or excitement or whatever fear behind it, right? And so you can just have those conversations when you out doing things. And so when we go out to eat, when I take the boys out for ramen, which is their favorite thing to eat, we just chill and we chat and we talk about what's coming up next, and why I do this or why I do that, and things like that. And it's cool for them to ask those questions in that context. So Mike says sometimes it's hard realizing what actually is small stuff. Whew, you are correct, sir. I believe that. I received that. Understanding what small stuff is honestly, I think that anything that ultimately uh from the kid's perspective feels like it was, well, I don't know. I don't know. You know what is small stuff? Anybody? Like, what is small stuff? I say that because I know what I have gotten upset about that I felt like was small stuff. Like, again, you drop something, you break something, it's not that big of a deal. Like, nobody got hurt, we can let it go. Um, you stay out too late. I don't have no kids just doing that yet. I don't consider that small stuff. If you stay out too late and you don't call, we've had that conversation in advance. Like, I would get worried. That's something that I will worry about as a parent because I know me. I know I am a worrier, right? So I need that from my kids. So it becomes a conversation of why that is difficult for me and why that's not a small thing for me when it feels like for them it's a small thing, right? So I think some of it does boil down to things you had conversations with them about before that continue and things that happen in the moment that is not that big of a deal, right? So yeah, it's subjective, but if you ain't die, it ain't big, right? So yes, but again, also the if you tell your kids, if I were to tell my kids, which I have, that I don't like lies, I need you to tell me the truth, and I find out my kid lied to me after we've had that conversation and they seemingly understood that, then I got a problem, right? Because it's no longer a small thing because after the conversation that we came to an understanding about lying, specifically in this case, and you continued to do it anyway. You chose to do it again. So it's no longer a small thing. Like, this is now something that I have a problem with. Like, I can let it slide the first time. I can let it slide until we had a conversation. Right. So, Ty says it's all a lesson for you and for them. It can be serious, but not necessarily big. I agree. I agree. And that is 100% plausible that it can be big, but not, or it can be serious, but not big. And you have to, be able to move beyond those things when those moments arise. Right. Um, so we're gonna move on to number 6 because I want to get to this one about being consistent. And this is something that you both have to do as parents, mother and father. Be consistent. You know what I'm saying? That if you don't have consistency between the two parents, you got problems. It's gonna be problems, little problems, big problems. Because if you're not on the same page, how can you possibly expect the kids to be on the same page? Like, as a family, as a unit, you gotta be consistent. We have to make consistent choices, decisions. We gotta, be on the same page about things. And I know that's hard for some people because some people don't like being the bad guy. But if we're not able to work it out together, like that we want, you know, X, Y, or Z to happen, then we're gonna have a problem. It's going to be a problem. So we have to figure out how to be consistent as a family. Um, so I'm gonna take a break here just for a second. No commercials or anything like that, but I do want to let people know that if you are interested in being a part of the Daddy Confessions podcast, you can email me at thedaddyconfessions@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Instagram at thedaddyconfessions on Instagram. You may already follow me. You can also hit me up on Facebook if you're family, if you're friends. Love to have you join me here on the podcast. So I just want to throw that out there and reminder, future episodes will be airing on Thursday at 8 p.m. So I'm gonna let that go for the remainder of the show so that everybody can see it. And we are going to move on to number 7 thing that I have learned in my first 10 years of being a father, being a parent. Teach responsibility. Man, if we don't teach these kids how to be responsible, first off, if we not responsible, right? Like, I can't speak for some of the dads out there or moms out there who choose not to be good parents to their kids. They not showing responsibility in the things that they doing. But one of the most important things that I can do as a parent is teach responsibility to my kids so that they understand the importance of being a responsible human being, responsible for themselves, responsible for others, trying hard to be a good person, and also, taking on whether it be a dog, it could be a cat, it could be any kind of pet or anything like that. Being responsible for that, having your chores, doing your chores, all those things are important as well. So being responsible individuals is such an important piece that I hope every parent understands. I hope as adults we understand. Some adults have a hard time with being responsible for their actions as well. But I tell you what, if you don't teach your kids to be responsible, you are teaching them to be prisoners. That's that's they are on their way to jail. Like, that's my hot take for the evening. I truly, truly believe that if you ain't teaching them to be responsible, they will end up behind somebody's bars because they couldn't figure out how to get past their own nonsense. So they got to be accountable. You got to hold them accountable, and then because the world gonna hold them accountable. So that's my little my little hot take on that one. You know what I'm saying? So next up, since I already done scolded some people tonight out there in the world, somebody gonna hear this and be like, they gonna feel some kind of way about number 7 because they're not responsible. Um, love unconditionally. Man, what do I mean by love unconditionally? I had to stop and think about this one because I was like, do I really mean unconditionally? And yes, I mean unconditionally. I mean, we have to, as parents, realize that ultimately, if we are doing the other things that I've mentioned already with our kids, then the things that they do are not they're not doing it to upset us. They're not doing it to hurt us, right? So they are just learning the world around them. And so the best thing that we can do is love them unconditionally. No matter what choices they make, what decisions I'm not saying be a fool for your kids. I'm not saying that you know, give up everything for them. What I am saying is that if we love our kids unconditionally, then they will understand that we will always be there for them no matter what happens. It helps to bring conversations to light because they feel comfortable having conversations. It helps them understand that I have someone in my life who loves me unconditionally, right? And I think about where we are in the world right now with mental health and how difficult it is for some people because they don't feel like anybody loves them. So if we love our kids unconditionally, and you tell them that, open your mouth, tell them. I can't say that enough. Hug your kids, love your kids, tell them you love them, tell them that they are special, that they are somebody. Um, it's such an important piece, and they need to know that you love them unconditionally, no matter what they do, no matter who they choose to be, no matter where they, go or end up. You still love them. They still have somebody who loves them. I think that's super important. And it's something that a lot of people just don't get. And that's unfortunate. So for what that's worth. Number 9. We coming down to the end here. This one is something that I'm working through as well. You all tell me what it looks like for you. What does don't forget about yourself. So self-care. This is basically self-care. What does self-care look like for you? I always wonder what people are doing to take care of themselves. Oh, we got somebody new in the house. Zero sugar. You is kind. You is special. I guess that's what you're talking about for your kids. Yes, you is kind. You is special. Is that from Color Purple? I don't know what that's from, but yes, be okay. We'll go with that. All right. Um, and but what do y'all do for self-care? It's important. It's a very important piece. I think if people don't take care of themselves first, we can't do nothing for nobody else. So I say unconditional love, but you got to love yourself first, right? Oh, that's from the help. That's from the help. I could remember that. Okay, okay, okay. All right, man. See, my movie trivia is a little off. Is that the so that's the I know that's the same movie where they made the poop pie. Is that accurate? That's the poop pie movie. Uh that's see the things I remember. Um, but yeah, man, I take care of yourself first. I believe I go every couple months, I get a massage. You know what I'm saying? I like to just hang out by myself. I used to take myself to the movies years ago, but I don't do that much anymore. I don't really like to go out to the movies uh as much anymore. But you got to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then you're not going to be able to take care of your kids, right? Like that's something that I am working on more because I have neglected, I think, working out, taking care of my body in that way as much as I should. But I'm trying to figure out how to do that and then also involve my kids in it as well. Otherwise, um, I mean, if my life is short, then I can't be there for them, right? That's a real important thing. Oh, what does Mike? Mike says I think moms have more issues with forgetting about themselves, but it happens to dads too. Yes, Mike, I 100% agree. And I believe uh that it is a big problem. This is my personal perspective. This is daddy confession. This is my perspective. I don't have no little thing that pops up that says this is just my perspective, but it is. Um that women forget to take care of themselves because they are such nurturers. And you have to take care of yourself, right? So, ultimately, if you don't take care of yourself, then you forget who you are. Because you wrap yourself so much up in your kids. And what you gonna do when them kids leave one day? Because they gonna leave. They gonna leave. They ain't gonna be there forever. And if your kids is at home forever, shame on you. Okay. So when they leave, who are you, mom? Who are you, dad? You know what I'm saying? What drives you? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? If all your hobbies have been wrapped up in your kids' hobbies, then you don't know who you are anymore. And that's a very sad thing. Very sad thing. I think people really have to be cautious about how much they give to their kids and forget about themselves. Um, so I think Mike hit the nail on the head with that one. And again, dads do it, moms do it. We definitely have to be cautious of that. Number 10, don't forget about your spouse. Okay. It's a big deal, folks. Big deal. I don't know if y'all know, but divorce in this country is high. It's very high. It's a very real thing. And I truly, truly, truly believe that a lot of what happens in relationship, what goes wrong in relationships, it goes back to taking care of yourself, but that we forget about the other person. Um, and so one thing that I've learned over these past 10 years is that if you wrap your life so much in your kids that you forget about your spouse, then you can forget about having a spouse. Um, I think you will end up alone. I think you know, you got to do that work too, right? It ain't just you don't just do the work to get the person you had the kids and then you forget about the person. Because if you're gonna do that, if that's all you want, then you can go to the bank, get a sperm donor for real. I don't suggest it, but I think that people um, can can do it that way. I don't suggest nobody be a single parent. Thank you, Kelly. I don't think nobody should be a single parent if they can avoid it. But if that's the life you want to live, if you want to live a life as a single parent, it's a hard life. I'm sure somebody on here maybe is a single parent. They could tell you that. Well, I know having my wife and I do it is hard enough. I can only imagine what it's like being a single parent. Um, the Bible order is God first, spouse second, kids third, everybody else fourth. I say everybody else way down the list. Near the, I don't even know what the bottom of the list is, but yes, Ty, that is right. God first, spouse second, because that's the person who you got into this with, right? Y'all supposed to be working on this together. But if y'all constantly moving in separate directions, yo, it ain't gonna work. It is not going to work. So you got to be better than that. Put your spouse right up there, right under God, right? So work together. And that's really important. Mike, please don't forget about your spouse. Yes, the kids will be gone one day. I know, ask Ty, kids gone. And you don't want to be strangers 18 years later or however many years, because Mike, it's gonna be more than 18 years for you. You got a little one too, a 10-year-old, right? So yeah, man, it's actually it's yourself and then everyone else. My bad. Oh, I got you. I understood what you were saying. Yeah, got to put yourself first, right? You put your woman first or your man first, and then you put yourself in there somewhere, and then everybody else way down the list. That's 100% factual, I believe. Yes, the kids are gone. Yes, that he's out there living his life fancy free and footloose, right? Right, Ty? Fancy free and footloose. I hope y'all enjoying it. Don't be walking around the house naked. Um, I would be walking around the house naked all the time if the kid was gone. One day. Whew, I have to tell you. So don't forget about your spouse. I can't say it anymore. That is the most important thing. If you want, date your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should go on trips. Me and my wife, we go on trips every so often. At least once a year, we go on trip without the kids. I know Ty said, F them kids. Again, Ty, this is a family friendly show. I did say it. I'm gonna say it in that particular one case, but he said they'll be back though. They will be back. If you got food in the house, they will be back. They need money, they will be back. Oh, I didn't need that visual, sir. Y'all naked watching YouTube. Y'all, that's a whole new show. And they got naked and afraid, and then they got naked and watching YouTube. So thank you for making time to join me as you are empty nesters. So yeah, man, I make time for your wife. Make time for your wife, or your husband, or your significant other. This ain't, we look. I don't discriminate. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your situation is, it could be two men, two women, two I guess two asexual people wouldn't be having kids. Whatever they call, or whatever the situation is. You know what I'm saying? You do you, folks. And thank you for listening to this episode of Daddy Confession. I'm excited to be back with you guys. We're gonna get back on it. The Daddy Confession podcast is going to be coming back full force. We're going to have new episodes. I'm going to put some of the old episodes back up so people can watch them. You can see this show on the YouTube page if you're not watching it on YouTube somehow. But you can also listen to it on every podcast app. Spotify, Apple Mute, all them things. We on there as well. You can listen to it there as well. Looking forward to hearing more from you guys. Yeah, check out the next episode on Thursday. We're going to Thursday as full time for the show. We're gonna try to get in there. I know people gonna watch Thursday night football, but Sunday night football is way more important. So we're gonna move to Thursday. And couple weeks, free plug for the Millionaire Man Cave. Check out the Millionaire Man Cave in a couple of weeks. I think you come back on September the 12th. Is that right, Ty? September the 12th. Somewhere around then. But I really do appreciate you guys listening. This has been fun. Try to keep it to a hot hour most weeks if I can, especially when I'm alone. But I appreciate you guys listening in. I love you guys. And this is been fun. So before we go, and let's see, yeah. So Ty says September the 12th, 8 p.m. RETV, Millionaire Man Cave. Come check me out. I'm a little bit more unfettered over there. If you're interested in being on the show, come check out the Daddy Confessions podcast. Or email me if you want to be on Daddy Confessions podcast. Email me at thedaddyconfessions@gmail.com, or you can catch me on Instagram at the Daddy Confessions as well. Let's see what I got here. I got some people who chimed in. Thanks for inviting me, brother John. Yes, sir. I am so glad you came through. This was yeah, man. You know, hey, you on that front end. You on that front end. Got baby on the way. Mad bills to pay. And we are going to continue to have conversations. You can listen to some of the old episodes about some of the things that we've talked about in the past. Some of my friends have been on. Talk about a lot of great things. Ty, thank you. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you, Zero Sugar. Sugar free over there. And then thank you. Appreciate it. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Daddy Confessions podcast. And you know what? I don't even have an outro on here, but I'm going to play the intro again because some of y'all might have missed it.